Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden stories in corporate filings, and today we're looking at Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated's latest report, where it seems they're putting some of their financial products on public display like a company show and tell. Before we dive in, if you like getting these unvarnished looks into public companies, make sure you're subscribed, and we've got a great community discussion happening over on our Discord, linked in the description below, so come join us. So this is a Form 8K filing, which is essentially a report that companies have to file when something significant happens. Think of it as the official announcement of important news. Today we're looking at a report from the 10th of November, 2025 for Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated, or DCOM as it is known by its stock ticker. This is filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, a government body that oversees the stock market to protect investors. Now, what is really interesting here is the information about what the company has registered. They've got their common stock, which is what most people think of when they hear about a company's stock. This is trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker DCOM. They also have preferred stock, specifically Series A, which is also traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker DCOM. Preferred stock is a bit different from common stock. It usually has a fixed dividend and gets paid before common stockholders if the company runs into trouble. And then we see their 9.000% subordinated notes. These are like loans that investors give to the company. They pay a fixed interest rate, in this case a pretty solid 9%, and they are called subordinated because if the company goes bankrupt, the people holding these notes get paid back after other lenders, but before common stockholders. This is trading under the ticker DCOM. So what actually prompted this filing on the 10th of November 2025? Well, the main event here, detailed in item 8.01, is that Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated, or the company as they call it, made a financial presentation available to investors. This is essentially like the company holding a meeting or releasing a set of slides to talk about their business and financial situation. They've pointed out that this presentation can be found on their website. While we won't go to the website, this tells us they are being transparent about making this information public. They are effectively saying, here's how we're doing, here is where we're going. Then we get to item 9.01, which is about financial statements and exhibits. It acts like an appendix to the report. In this section, they're listing out the exhibits. The most notable one here is the cover page interactive data file, formatted in something called inline XBRL. This is a technical format that makes financial data easier for computers to read and analyze, which is super helpful for us analysts and for automated systems that are constantly scanning these reports. It means the key information is readily digestible. Now, this filing itself is pretty light on deep financial numbers directly in the body. It is more an announcement of a presentation. However, we can infer a few things from the kinds of securities they've highlighted as registered and trading. The fact they've registered and are trading common stock, preferred stock, and subordinated notes tells us about their capital structure. They are using a variety of ways to raise money. Common stock offers growth potential, but also more risk. Preferred stock offers stability with dividends, and subordinated notes offer a fixed return for lenders, which helps the company secure long-term funding. This mix suggests a company that is actively managing its finances to support its operations and growth. From a business strategy perspective, if they are presenting to investors, they are likely highlighting recent performance, future outlook, and how they plan to achieve their goals. Given they are a bank, this might involve discussions about loan growth, deposit trends, interest rate environments, and perhaps mergers or acquisitions. The inclusion of subordinated notes also signals a need for capital, which usually goes hand in hand with expansion plans or shoring up their financial foundation. Looking at the types of registered securities, we see they are a well-established entity with multiple ways of accessing capital markets. The 9% rate on the subordinated notes is particularly noteworthy. In a low interest rate environment, that's a strong signal of the company's creditworthiness, or perhaps the market's perception of increased risk associated with the banking sector at that time. Conversely, if rates have risen, 9% might be quite competitive, attracting investors. What this means for the company is that their cost of borrowing for this particular debt is fixed, providing some predictability in their expenses. The dual listing of common and preferred stock on NASDAQ suggests they aim for broad investor access and liquidity for their shareholders. Companies choose exchanges like NASDAQ for their technology, infrastructure, and global reach, indicating Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated is aiming for a significant presence. So, what is the story here? Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated is putting out a financial presentation to investors. This is standard practice, but it's their way of communicating their financial health and future plans directly. The fact that they've registered and are trading different types of securities, common stock, preferred stock, And subordinated notes tells us they're a mature company with established access to capital markets, using various financial instruments to fund their operations and growth. Without seeing the actual presentation, we can only speculate on the precise numbers, but the act of presenting them and filing this report signifies transparency and a focus on investor relations. Now, looking at this from a broader perspective, what does this tell us about Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated? They seem to be a company that operates with a degree of financial sophistication, managing different layers of capital. The registered securities, particularly the subordinated notes with a 9% coupon, indicate a certain level of financial commitment and leverage. This is not necessarily bad, but it does mean investors need to understand the company's ability to service this debt, especially the fixed income obligations. A key risk for companies like this, especially banks, is the interest rate environment. If interest rates rise significantly, the cost of their funding could go up, impacting profitability. Conversely, if they are able to lend out money at even higher rates than their borrowing costs, it could mean increased profits. The fact that they are hosting an investor presentation suggests they are confident in their current financial position and future projections, or at least want to present that image. Without seeing the presentation itself, we are missing the specific details about revenue, earnings, assets, and liabilities, but the filing itself tells us they are active in the capital markets and are communicating with their investors. In conclusion, Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated is using this 8K to announce a public investor presentation. This is a standard disclosure, but it underlines their commitment to investor communication. Their registered securities show a diversified capital structure, and the 9% subordinated notes suggest a focus on securing long-term funding. The overall direction seems to be one of active financial management and growth, communicated through these formal channels. Alright, that is our breakdown of this Dime Community Bankshares Incorporated filing. What's your take on companies using investor presentations like this, and what kind of numbers do you look for in these types of documents? Drop your thoughts in the comments below if you found this analysis valuable. Hitting that like button really helps us out. And subscribe for more of these deep dives. And don't forget to check out the Discord community in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.